Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Saturday, April 9th, and today Uranus and the Sun align. So we all know that I talk about the general alignment before I launch into how it's going to affect your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign significantly in this situation. So Uranus is the planet of unexpected awakenings. Uranus individuates ourselves. So it's not about collective thinking when Uranus gets in. It's about our unique qualities, unique perspectives. It's about standing out. It's about finding your voice. It's about liberating your thoughts from collective thoughts. So Uranus is in Aries, which Aries represents the self or ego. And so for many of you, what we're finding is we're just finding self at this point. We're finding that voice. We're finding our identity. We're becoming very, very self-aware in this energy. But what makes this more significant is the fact that we have an alignment with the Sun in Aries and Uranus in Aries. This means we're very, very self-aware of what we desire on a deep level, but more importantly, on a very simplistic level. So when I say deep level and then I put in the word simplistic, they don't seem to match, but they do. Because if we're going to get to the deep roots of what we want, the nitty-gritty, if we are going to be completely honest with ourselves, we have to add some depth to that question. However, in this energy, yeah, there is a sense of superficial wants and needs, those tangible wants and needs, that immediate result. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. This asks us to individuate ourselves, to stand out, to make our voice known, to make us heard. What we want is to, some of us are going to be completely changing our identity in these energies. Some of us are going to be finding ourselves in these energies. Some of us are going to be extremely self-aware of exactly what we lost over a period of time. Who we lost. We lost ourselves. So many of us, when we experience this alignment, it's that alignment of self with our soul, with our gut, with everything. So this is a very, very significant energy, because I think what it does is develop the new self. And I deeply believe that many of us are experiencing a manifestation of self. And there are some signs that are significantly doing this, but I think that other signs, I think we all are having a revelation about ourselves in this energy, exactly what we want, what we don't want, what feeds us, what doesn't feed us, what we want to move forward with, what provides us with what we deeply desire. So at the same time this is happening, we have what's called a mutable T-square. So I want to talk a little bit about that too, because it adds an element of uncertainty to our thought process. Because when this mutable T-square, it's called, what we're really doing is adapting self. A mutable T-square really challenges us to develop new perspectives, to supply ourselves with what we lack, to ask those deep questions, and to really honestly add an element of instability into it, so that we can really, when we just go through the motions and we are habitual, it's very difficult for us to ask ourselves these questions. But in this energy, it's really forcing ourselves to ask this question, because there's an element of instability that's forcing us to ask ourselves this question. So I think what it is we're trying to firm up mindsets and firm up belief systems and firm up the way that we move forward with self, or we develop the relationship with self, or we're honest with our relationship with self. And I think that that's really important, that we really develop that honesty, because then we know that we need to adapt self in this energy. So guys, I'm going to be right back to tell you how this is going to affect your sun and your moon and your rising sign. Hi Aries, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, this is important for you because this is really, really, really asking you to identify what you need on a very, very simplistic level. I think what happens sometimes with Aries is they can get caught up in the word duty and responsibility and lose oneself, lose one's focus, one's purpose in a pursuit. And so I think what you want to do is dial that back in this energy and understand that there's more going on in self than just that identity of being the leader. So I think that you are an Aries through and through in this energy. I think that you're confident, charming, outgoing. You demand to be the center of attention. I think there's a need for affirmation. For some of you in this energy, there's a need to feel like you belong and that you're recognized. I think there's a little bit of insecurity with this alignment for you, and it could be quite unexpected, because I think what this boils down to is I think that some of you have the realizations that there's a vulnerable side to you and that you're deeper than the superficial people that others observe. And I believe that there's awareness in this energy, and I believe that it can be very, very, very unexpected for you and or for the people that you're involving in your life. I mean, I believe that this is really developing a new perspective. And as you develop a new perspective, I believe that you really deeply align with a new self in this energy. But I believe more importantly, what this does is it really questions what you value, what provides you with stability. I believe some of you may have sudden, shocking awakenings, and what you valued maybe wasn't stability, wasn't a stable outcome for you. So I believe that some of you are really getting a realization in the fact that you may not have been deeply aligned with what was true stability, but what was ego-based stability. So in this energy, it's going to be very important. You're going to want to take the lead, because that's the way that you gain control, and that's the way that you feel superior, which is a very big part of your soul. You're also going to receive a great deal of pleasure out of intellectually sparring with others. I believe that this is a demand for attention and affirmation on a level where, more importantly, what I believe that this is, sorry, I ate some popcorn. Oh, there it is. I'm like, ugh. What I believe it is I believe that what you're trying to do is to affirm that you still have the leading role in your life. Now, for some of you, you may be succumbing to outside influences, work-based routines that may not be fulfilling you, or maybe having you question your leadership roles. And I believe that some of you may be getting a little bit lost in this energy, because it is the energy that provides realizations. And so I believe that some of you may be going on this path of trying to align yourself with ego, align yourself with that leadership and control role, because that makes you feel self-important. I believe that you are absolutely not interested in those that criticize your day-to-day life or routines, even though some of you, I believe, if you receive criticism, if you receive resistance in any way, and if you start to embark on the word awareness or realizations, because that can be what Uranus definitely in a high vibration represents, then what I can deeply say about this energy is that many of you may be stubborn and resist this energy. I believe you're going to fall into a quincunx and a couple squares if you do that. I believe that the highest form of vibration in this is expanding perspective, gaining control of oneself, dialing yourself back, becoming reflective in this energy. And more importantly, it's developing a sense of love thyself. I don't need affirmation. I don't need to dominate or control the world, because I'm dominating and controlling my life, and I feel pretty confident about that area. But if some of you feel out of control or a lack of control, many of you may be trying to exteriorly dominate maybe a work environment, a routine of others. You may be becoming judgmental, hypercritical of others. You may be voicing your opinions may be very stubborn in mindsets, and you may be suppressing perspective, unique perspective. More importantly, expansion in this energy. So just be very mindful of that. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching this astrology corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Taurus, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. So for you, this is beautiful energy for you. I believe that in this energy, you're reflective and you're quiet. I believe that your ego is under a state of metamorphosis, but it is deeply internal. Much of what's going on with you definitely is defining your ego, but on a very, very simplistic level. But more importantly, some of you, this could be material. You could be attaching a little bit of pleasure to what you're wanting. You could be attaching a little bit of it could be like you're saving for something that you think defines your ego. Say it's a car, say it's a lifestyle, say it's a house, say it's something, but it's something that I think for many of you, you think defines you. So it's something that you're doing deeply behind the scenes. For some of you, this point of reflection could be much more than that. It could be about defining your passions. It could be about defining the way that you pursue happiness in life, I think, for many of you. But this is an internal ego definition for you. So you may be holding back something that you want because you are waiting for the right moment to make a change in a relationship or a union. For some of you, the timing doesn't feel right. And because you're deeply aligned with self in this energy, intuitively, you're really aligning with this, all this energy that tells you when to do things and when not to do things because of those five senses being activated in this energy. I believe that your ego feels strong in this energy. I feel like you can have it if you want it, but I just feel deeply that for some of you, you don't think it's time, so you're just kind of hanging back in this energy. Taking action right now could cause fear to bring forward some of your insecurities. I think you're trying to work out some of these vulnerabilities that you feel with self in this energy. Some of this realization, this feeling could be quite unexpected. You may get the nerve and you want to act out because this is the Sun in Uranus. It's making you want to externalize everything that you feel. But then I think there's this pullback, and that could be unexpected for you because I think you may have wanted to make progress and then pull back in this energy. I believe that some of you may be training out this energy, so you may be leading others' mindset in a direction that you want to go. It could be much more persuasive, much more manipulative in this energy to get what you want, to get that pleasurable response that you want from people, that affirmation, that kind of that pat on the back that you're doing the right thing. I believe that many of you may have a hidden agenda that I don't think you're letting everybody in on. Again, to me, this suggests that it's kind of more of a secretive energy. There's more going on behind the scenes. This is an accumulative energy. So what this suggests to me is that there's an accumulation of what oneself desires at this point. And it seems to be on a very pleasure-based level. And on a partnership level, a union level, a companionship level. So I believe that many of you are at this point where it's cumulative, but it's not quite the right time. So you may be very seductive in this energy. This energy is all about pleasure and bringing you that intimate feeling. So many of you, intimacy is on all levels. So for some of you, it's a feeling. It's an attachment to a feeling. It's a familiarity. So I believe that some of you are getting very, very comfortable in these mindsets. And I believe that you're really all about laying back, going with the flow, having a good time. Yes, there's stuff ruminating behind the scenes, but in this energy, you're not really desiring to do anything. What you're really desiring to do is stir things up and just please yourself in brand new and exciting ways. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. in Uranus aligning with Aries. Now for you, you are evaluating your life path right now. I think that you are not interested in making any sudden changes that may make you suffer down the line. You're a little bit reserved in this energy. I believe that you have a conservative approach and you value your intuition more over than knowledge at this point. I think the past is something that you no longer wish to recreate, so you may take a great deal of pleasure in resting and relaxing at home for some of you. It's getting back to the basics. It's rejuvenating yourself. You know, for some of you, this is just some getting into a routine at home that just provides you with a little bit of stability. For some of you, you have a lot on your mind. A lot on your mind, and it is something that you are internalizing at this point, not externalizing. I believe that for some of you, this is new thoughts, new belief systems about the self. I believe that in this energy, I believe that you're trying to firm up some beliefs and firm up some decisions. You just want to make sure that you're making the right decisions, because some of you could be thinking about at one point in the near future drastically changing an outcome. And so I believe in this energy, you really just want to resonate with that, hang back. Your energy is starting to slow down. Mercury's getting ready to retrograde. I just feel like you are just a little bit complacent in this energy. I believe that this energy in a negative vibration is making you realize the impact of your stubborn mindsets and that you have been on your relationships. Many of you are testing relationships or have been tested in relationships. And so I believe that many of you are just firming up those boundaries. You may be in a state of confusion about what those boundaries clearly state to you or what they mean. You're trying to interpret them, and there's no consistency because we have this mutable T-square that's going on. I believe that relationships show us who we are, and I believe in this energy, if you're caught in the negative energy and you're caught in a quincunx, then what it means is that a significant relationship in your life may question some of the ways that you please yourself, or that you affirm yourself, or that you express yourself. And I believe that when you look through somebody's eyes, it's like, do you dare to really look at your partners? Because when you really look at your partners, it's a reflection of self. And I believe that since we're aligning ourselves with self, we're developing a new self. We're becoming very self-aware of how we want to represent oneself. I believe in this energy, looking in somebody's eyes and having them look back at you and could really broaden that perspective. But before you get that broadening mindset, what ends up happening is there's a little bit of challenge that's associated with that for you to awaken in this energy, which is also Uranus energy. So reflection may make you suddenly change the way you maintain some of your closest relationships, obviously, in this relation. Obviously, this is about stabilizing energy. There is a lot of instability right now, drastic. It can go either way, and I believe that you're very privy to that instinctually in this energy. So I believe what you're trying to do is kind of lay low, hang back. You don't really have the energy level to put into a lot of drastic changes, even if you know you need to make them at this point. You really just want to hang back and just evaluate everything, but more on an internal purpose. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Cancers. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, for you, I'm very fascinated by all of your energy because it's all an earth-based energy that significantly spoke to me when I was preparing this. I think simplifying your emotional commitments to the direction of a relationship or a mindset may significantly change. We start to ask ourselves those simple questions: needs, wants, are they being met? I believe we dial things back a little bit. And we simplify them and we appreciate things. We're in more of a state of gratitude when we do that. So this is a beautiful trining energy for you. I believe what this defines is how you value oneself, what you're placing value on in energy, but more importantly, I believe what this is doing is aligning you with those simple needs and wants, but you're becoming very hopeful about them. In this energy, what this could be doing, this is on every level. One of the things that speaks to me in this energy is the forward movement. Now, for many of us who are starting to feel Mercury slowing us down, it's slowing down our thought process so that we can simplify them significantly. We can look at our mindsets, we can look at our immediate needs and wants, we can look at our immediate environment and interpret it a lot easier when we slow down. We can look at our relationships, we can attach to the simple, pleasurable things that they do in our closest relationships, bonds, companionships, unions. I believe that we can see the stability, we can appreciate what they're doing for us in this energy, but more importantly, I think this attaches us on a, on our five senses. And I believe what this does is I think if we can do this, then what it does is it really aligns us with our hope a little bit easier, because if we simplify, we just basically ask ourselves that simple question of like, am I happy? Well, do you have a job? Do you have a car that gets you from A to B? Do you have enough money? Do you have enough food to eat? Do you have just the simple pleasures in life? If you do, then you are rich on a very, very simplistic level. And I believe that some of you need to dial that back, and really what can happen with a Cancer is they get very grandiose. Sun and Uranus is very a grandiose feeling. You define oneself by progression. You define oneself by securing home and family. But I believe what you forget to do is really live in the present. And in this energy, you're going to be really, really living in the present. And when you do that, a sudden gift comes your way, and you're like, wow, my present circumstances are not as bad as I have made them out to be. So you're not interested in working too hard in any area. This is dialing you down. You're very, I feel when you get into this kind of trine energy and you have all this earth energy, you hang back, you lay low, your energy starts to slow you down. Mars is getting ready to retrograde. It's going to retrograde at the end of this week. At the end of next week, and then we've got Mercury in retrograde, so we're slowing down. If you're intuitive, you're slowing down. You don't want to make any big drastic changes, and I believe that for some of you, maybe that is what's so drastic about the Sun and Uranus aligning, is the fact that you're completely complacent in this energy. You know what? Life isn't about always progressing, and maybe sometimes if it is progressing, it's just being thankful for the little things that you have. So I think you're just very slow to make drastic changes or drastic decisions in this energy. You're simplifying your desires in this energy so that you can feel in control of inner peace. I believe that this is just that energy that makes you just want to meditate, relax, take more naps, have a barbecue, work hard, but then come home and just relax. It's not about, redoing the house, redoing this and redoing that to make it that standard. There's no standard in this energy. It's more of, I'm really thankful that, God is providing me these blessings. I'm really thankful that, for the most part, I am deeply and truly happy in this energy. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. I'm really happy to tell you, trine energy is not my most favorite energy because I think it's kind of a lazy energy, and especially when it drops into earth energy. But for you, I believe that you need to slow down. You need to rest. You need to relax. You need to rejuvenate in this energy. All of those are powerful things to do in the positive when planets start dropping into those retrograde cycles. Because, we can't have forward energy all the time. It really takes a toll on our bodies. And so what we really need to do is rejuvenate in this energy. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi Leos, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, this is your ruler, guys. So you are really going to feel this alignment. It is going to speak to you. Now, what's really important to understand about this is that you are developing a perspective in this energy, an acceptance of oneself, or what you more importantly are doing is trying to develop a new sense of self. In this energy, there is some positive and there is some negative to discuss. For you, what I feel that's very positive about this energy is there's a sense of alignment with, if you needed to make a change, I think you feel the confidence to be able to do that. I believe that you feel very passionate and self-oriented in this energy. I believe that you're very, very self-aware down to a very, very deeply internal level. I believe that you own your voice, that you've developed your identity, and you stay firm and strong in this identity. I believe that the perspectives that you are developing are very unique, and you're on board with it. You're ready to make a statement in this energy about who you are. I believe that your risks that you want to take in this energy, in order to gain this recognition, or for you to discuss this new enlightening energy, this energy that makes you feel awakened, authentic. It allows you to really plug yourself into your soul in this energy. I believe you want to turn people on to stuff like that. So for some of you, it could just be finding your voice enough to be able to make a significant change to guide others into this mindset. I believe that you're firming up your belief systems in this energy. What can be very confusing about this energy is that in this energy, there can be a sense that you want to empower yourself. You want to stand out. You want to stand firm and tall. You want your voice to be heard. So there's a sense of, I think for some of you, because your perspectives are changing, I believe that you are trying to push people to get on board with mindsets that you have, or to adapt to rituals that you have, or you want them to note the power that you have, or to note the leadership qualities that you have, and you want to be affirmed for them. And I believe that people are resisting this. It could be in your workplace. It could be in anything where you do habitually. I believe that you may get some pushback from people by saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't agree with these belief systems. I don't agree with that mindset. And even though this could be the epiphany and awareness energy down to its most simplistic level, I mean, you get it. Others may not. So you just have to be mindful of the fact that forward-thinking energy to this degree is not always what everybody can get on board with, especially when all the energy is starting to dial itself back. You feel very forward in this energy. This is all fire, it's all balls, it's all glory in this energy. But many people are hanging back, chilling out, and just relaxing in this energy. So you may be coming across people that you're in all this forward energy, and they're in mindsets of like, well, I'm just not really to do it. I don't want to do anything about anything. So I'm not going to adapt to anything because I don't want to make any changes, because they're just really feeling the retrograde energy. For some of you, it could be very difficult for you to isolate what to attach to. What can be very hard is when you have an epiphany energy or an awakening energy, what can be very hard is you want people to think like you. You want to mold their thought process. You want them to agree with you. And so it can be very hard for them to agree with you in this energy, because not everybody has awakenings at the same time. And so what you're attaching value to may not be significantly what somebody else is attaching value to. So you just want to be very mindful of the fact that sometimes forward-thinking energy is somewhat of a lonely loner type energy. Many people who have very inventive ideas, thought processes that are really elevated are out there in the alone in the world, trying to develop these things and get the results they need. So it's more of that loner type quality, but it's you're confident, you're assured. There's a sense of peace with this energy. I believe for many of you that you finally understand one's self, the purpose. Purpose is very important for you, and for some of you, you may be on it in this energy. The energy is a little bit confusing because as forward as you are in this energy and as aligned as you are with this energy, do have a strange little aspect called a mutable square. And basically what that does is it creates tension to give us a greater awareness. And again, we're firming up a new belief system. We're firming up a mindset in this energy. And so sometimes when you have clarity, the clarity needs to be still tweaked. And I believe that in this energy, that it's that tweaking energy that really, really refines mindsets and belief systems and the sense of self that you're really starting to align with. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Virgo, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, for you, this is a significant time for you. I believe that you are redefining self. What I believe that you are doing is you are individuating your mindsets. You are no longer seeking collective approval in this energy. What you are doing in this energy is taking a look at what you deeply desire, what you want, what you idealize about relationships, unions, partnerships, and companionships. And you're really trying to get a unique perspective on that. I believe that for many of you, you idealized certain qualities or certain things about people. I believe that many of those mindsets are shattering or breaking into this, and you're realigning those mindsets. More importantly, what it's doing is teaching you what to value and what not to value in some of your closest partnerships. And more importantly, what it's doing is when we look at our partnerships, when we look at our unions, when we look at the people that we see as significant in our lives, they're actual reflections of oneself. So I believe that in this energy, some of what you're seeing of one's self is the fact that maybe there was something you needed to change. Maybe you weren't aligned with it. Maybe there was a mindset that you were adapting to that maybe you shouldn't be adapting to. We do have a mutable T-square at the same time that we're having the Sun and Uranus aligning. So these are sudden awakenings. These are drastic changes in mindsets for some of us. Some of this can be very unsettling, I'm not going to lie, because there is a feeling of opposition in this energy. For some of you, what could be the opposition is just a family unit, what you may idealize about a family unit, but more importantly, what I think it has to do with is just that sense of feeling at home, at peace, acceptance in whatever environment you signify as your home. For some of you that are in between mindsets, I believe that some of you, it's just the sense of the self as home, as being aligned with yourself, and of your, like, if you can't accept yourself, if you are in a state of transformation, then what you're going to be doing is attracting situations to you that constantly bring about self-awareness and boundaries that you need to change or firm up. And so I believe that some of you could be absolutely firming up energy in this. Also, what this can have to do with is some of you may be drastically changing the way that you view oneself, the way that the comfort level that you have with yourself, the way that you individualize yourself. I mean, some of you just could be becoming very, very accepting of self. It's not that need to please excessively as it is, I just need to please myself. And so for some of you, that's very significant in this energy. It really does have the ability to be a beautiful energy. When the Sun aligns with Uranus, I mean, it is a little bit of this unpredictability, especially when we have this mutable T-square. You're absolutely involved in this mutable T-square. I believe not your ruler, but I definitely believe that anytime you get into mutable energy, what this is just, it feels like clay to me. It feels like we're just molding and shaping clay. But more importantly, what we're doing is we're taking a look at ourselves. It would be like if we tried to paint our own portrait in this energy. And it's so weird. Somebody could paint your portrait and you could look one way, and you could paint your portrait and look a different way. And it's very significant when artists paint their own portrait, because so much comes out of that in the feelings of oneself. And so I believe that's really important to really align yourself with. I believe that in this energy, it's beautiful. Allow it to free up some of your mindsets, to expand you, to transform you, to, just be fully and completely adaptable to change in this energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Libra. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, for you, this has everything to do with that, where we establish relationships, bond, companionships, unions. When we're trying to figure out what we want, I think the best reflection of who we are, how we see ourselves, how we value ourselves, is definitely taking a look at our partnerships and seeing if they make us feel good. So for many of you, you're all about feeling good. This is a trine energy. This is ease in this energy. You're only interested in maintaining things that make you feel, on a very superficial level, good about yourself. This is about having conversations that make you feel intellectually stimulated. This is about talking with somebody and being completely understood, not having to dispute things or to argue or debate about them. It's just about talking with that person that just gets you. That is going to be really revealing in this energy for some of you. That can really, really align you with your perspectives. If, say, you had somebody who was super difficult in your life and they just really never seemed to get you, and then you talk to somebody who just seemed to get everything you said, it's just such an affirmation. And I believe that some of you could be feeling that in this energy. I believe that some of you are adapting to your perspectives in this energy. But when you're adapting your perspectives, what it's really doing is firming up the boundaries. Boundaries that you need for oneself, boundaries you need for relationships. It's like that place where if you're strong and confident, if you know what you want, if you know what you desire, and you only seek that, then that's what you will get. It's like when you buy a car that you love. Never thought before, but as soon as you buy it, that's the only car you see. So it's kind of like that mindset. If you can attach value to something that you deeply desire, that you would like to help expand you in some way, what this could be is attracting somebody unique into your life that you never thought you needed. You didn't know you needed to be understood to that level. You didn't know that you needed to have excitement. You didn't know that you needed a conversation that deeply stimulated you because you had been habitually in a routine with somebody that perhaps did not truly and deeply appreciate that. It's a beautiful energy. It's a trine energy. So anytime we're caught in trine energy, we're slowing down, we're hanging back. It's very self-indulgent. There's not a lot of restraint in this energy for some of you. So if some of you want to feel good and somebody's making you feel good in this energy, it's going to be very easy for you to justify your actions. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Scorpio, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, for you, you always have a lot going on in your chart, but one of the things that deeply speaks to me in this energy is that Pluto, one of your rulers, is squaring off with this event, the Sun in Aries. So what I believe in this energy is that there is a routine, a ritual, a mindset. There's something that's affiliated possibly with work that you are identifying yourself with, that you are placing a significant amount of value with, but that perhaps is not being validated in this energy, not to the level and the degree that you need it to be. There's a sense of, in this energy, personal dissatisfaction with something deeply important to you, something that is habitual, something that is routine in your life, something that is in your everyday environment. It is disappointing to you. Again, on a day-to-day basis being deeply disappointed, and this kind of self-indulgent energy suggests to me that many of you are doing some rethinking about what you want, thinking about your hopes, thinking about progressing, thinking about that you're very hypercritical in this energy of what you value and how you value it, but at a very, very, very deeply simplistic level. I believe that for some of you, Mars is cantankerous in this energy too. Mars is getting ready to get into a retrograde cycle. So I believe that for some of you, what this has to do with is I just think that you're hanging back. There is stuff going on, I think, intellectually for you, where you're taking a look at what you deeply value. And I believe that there's just this mindset that some of your needs aren't being met. Or maybe you were more hopeful about a situation that didn't provide that true payoff, that payoff. When I talk about Uranus and Aries and the Sun in Aries, I talk about it on its most simplistic level. If we're completely honest, if we did not have to conform and go by mindsets of others of what's acceptable and not acceptable, I'm going to give you for instance. If you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't feed you on a simplistic level, now everybody goes through rough times, and so you're going to hang in there because the rough times are, what every relationship goes to. But there is a sense of indulgence in this energy that makes you value something, makes you value controlling and that outcome, makes you value controlling the fact that you need to attain what you deeply are attaching to at this point. So to me, there's a sense of dissatisfaction when you think about this, because and for some of you, this could be just the fact that maybe a relationship has become too complacent. It's like that type of energy where, you guys get together and you get, they call it fat and happy in energy, but maybe at this point, that's not what you're valuing. I mean, maybe what you value is what you were attracted to initially. And so there's a sense of dissatisfaction about it. So what it does is make you turn toward, I don't know, perhaps friendships, or perhaps you just become very, very hypercritical, and you start to compare in this energy of what you want versus what you have. That is very, very Uranus in Aries, and the Sun in Aries, and when you've got all of this second house work going on, that is at its most simplistic level. I want this, I don't have that, but I see it over there, and I want that. Or you could be jealous, or you could be obsessive about it, because in this energy, it's just that sense of, it's just very immediate and self-indulgent. So just be mindful of that. And again, energy passes. Guys, energy passes all the time. So what you're feeling today, you may not be feeling tomorrow. And that is also Uranus and Aries energy. Just that immediate, I'm unhappy today and I'm happy tomorrow. That's a kid. That's a typical kid. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Sagittarius. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now for you, this energy can go deeply one of two ways. Now, I think many of you attach to trine energy really easy because you're kind of used to that whole trine feeling. And your ruler is in a beautiful trine with Pluto and Mercury in this energy. For some of you, this is about hanging back, not about being too directional, enjoying what you have, getting lost in romance, getting lost in your career, just feeling very at peace. You're slow, you don't want to make any drastic changes. It's just that energy of, I feel good in this energy, I don't need to stand out, I don't need to make a change. Sorry. And then there are some people in this energy that have been caught in squares and opposition. And the opposition in this energy is to get you to meet in the middle. Opposition is a beautiful energy. It's between Pisces and Virgo energy right now. Your ruler is sitting in retrograde. It's about balancing home and family. I've been talking extensively about this. So for some of you, for some of you that have the home and family dynamic, now some of you may not have a home and family dynamic. Maybe some of you are young. Maybe some of you are just out of a home and family dynamic. So I believe that for some of you, these don't apply. But for many of you, what does apply is the fact that there is a sense of oneself that you are re-identifying. You are becoming very, very self-aware. That there is a sense of you need to balance out your sense of freedom, the sense for adventure, the sense to be uniquely you, but gaining control over the fact there's accountability, you're conforming to a degree to be accountable to somebody else. So I believe what happens is when we first start relationships, or when we're in relationships, or when we signify our relationships in some way, and this can be in a very internal level, this is where you are seeing yourself significantly with somebody. I believe that a certain amount of fear can be associated with that. There's a sense of loss. There's a sense of, well, I had all these options before. I don't have them now. I'm having to conform. I'm losing some of my freedom. I'm losing some of my individuality because I am blending my sense of self with somebody. There's a fear that can be associated with that, because I believe that for many of us, we've learned deeply hard lessons about really identifying with partnerships and unions and relationships and firming up, setting roots, that those roots can sometimes be an unstable system. But I believe that as we are really grounding ourselves in earth energy, as we are becoming adaptable, we are changing our mindsets. I believe there just comes this, I don't know, for a little brief time, we're going to have this state of confusion about what we identify with, because some of us have been free for a very long time in energy. Some of us have not been accountable to others. Some of us have been floating along a cloud, just being accountable to ourselves, not really valuing anything, except for maybe affirmation through career success, or through some sort of affirmation through, some sort of belief system that everybody can believe, that they respect about you. But I believe that this is a much deeper level. This transformative time for you, to me, is going to really add a lot of depth to you. A lot of depth that you always have had, but people have not seen, because I believe that you have been very protective of this mindset. But I believe some of you are starting to succumb. You're starting to not resisting the energy as much anymore, and you're starting to attach some value to these systems that you didn't always have before. And so this is a beautiful, beautiful state of transformation for you. But for the ones that are in this state of trine, I believe that you're just deeply aligned. Your energy is the flow of energy is going so good for you at work, at what you're attaching value to, the routines that you're just starting. It's like energy where everything just goes your way. And even though your planet's in a retrograde, if this was a past-based endeavor or past-based mindset, I believe that some of you have really, really refined what it takes to find peace and happiness in this energy. So it can be very decadent for some of you, and for some of you, it could be a sense of, I'm resisting it, but I'm identifying with it at the same time. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching the Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next Astrology Corner. Hi, guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading, dear Capricorns, for the Sun and Uranus aligning with Aries. Now, for you, this definitely has the ability to be some delicious energy. It also has the ability to be caught in a square. So it depends on where you are at with oneself. I believe that's very important in this energy. How do you identify yourself? The relationship that you have with yourself. Are you completely aligned? Do you have your voice? Do you feel firm in your mindsets? There are some people that are out of control with their mindsets. There are some people that are living in fear of the realizations of their mind. But some people in this energy are really starting to become very self-aware and accepting of everything about oneself. And I believe those are the people that get caught in this delicious trine energy. So your ruler is trining this. So for some of you, what it is you are redefining the home and family environment for yourself. For some of you, this could be, you could be reestablishing relationships with some of your family members. For some of you, this could be really attaching value to family and to your home. For some of you, this could be finding a new place to live that really identifies with what you have deeply wanted for some time. For some of you, this could be remodeling and redoing your home, and you're starting to really see yourself and embrace your home environment. For some of you, this is deeply about the stuff that you do behind the scenes. So this is about those remodeling projects, or those, you're going on excursions and you're looking at furniture and you're trying to buy and you're looking for a really good deal. This energy has a lot to do with the good deal, that immediate satisfaction results, because with Saturn and Sagittarius, to me, this is, you're expressing yourself in a very unique and different way. So for some of you, this could come out in a decorative flair. You could be just really attaching to all this really incredible earth energy that's going to be coming up, that we have. I believe for some of you, this is just that sense of I'm at home, I'm at peace. Now, for some of you, this could be your physical homes. Some of this could be a vacation home. But for some of you, what this deeply could be is just that self, the sense of self, the home, that the home that you have, that you walk around in every single day. There could be a sense of just acceptance of oneself that I think is very important. The ultimate control that I think that you can establish in life is just the sense of self, acceptance. I believe for some of you caught in a square, the negative energy in this, I believe what it could be is that for some of you, you're refusing to expand one sense of self in this energy. I believe what it has to do with it is a lot of, there's interpersonal struggles in your mind with the fact that you're expanding your beliefs, your thought processes, your sense of self, but you're resisting it because there's a sense of familiarity that you have had with rituals and routines and mindsets that you have really been habitually doing for quite some time. For some of you, these are ingrained thought processes, mindsets, belief systems that you refuse to let go of. What you're doing is you're resisting a new perspective. You're resisting a new mindset, but more importantly, you're resisting the ability to accept new things into your life. When we just submit and let energy guide us, we really honestly go down this amazing road of self-awareness. What it is you could be stuck. I want to hold on to this sense of self and I'm not going to let go of it. And, I'm resisting any form of expansive mindsets, conversations with others, people in our lives. I'm resisting it all because I want to hold on to what's familiar. But what could be familiar is dysfunction. And so I believe that for some of you may be very much caught in this energy. It's a difficult energy if you are, because when we're caught in it, we really do deeply believe that there is some sort of reality in it, when I think that many of you, with this Saturn squaring off with Chiron, Neptune, and Jupiter, what I believe that it is there was no familiarity with oneself. There was holding on to preconditioned programming that may have been highly dysfunctional. And so what you're really doing is really becoming very mentally aware of restrictions, limitations, what you may have been deficient in, and then there's resisting that growth in those areas because you're releasing some of the familiarity you had with dysfunction. So it is very scary for some of you, but for some of you, like I said, for some of you, this is an awakening energy. This is very self-aware. I'm very self-important. I don't need to control anybody else. This is about controlling my environment, my external environment as well, and just re-identifying yourself in areas that makes you feel empowered. And I believe some of you may be feeling a little bit of suffering and may be feeling some loss of oneself, one identity in this energy. Either way, it's progressive energy, guys. You can resist all you want, but what you resist persists. Just always remember that. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. So for you, I really like this energy. Saturn, which is conjunct with Mars, is going to be trining Uranus and trining the Sun in Aries. I think you feel very, very self-aware, self-important. I believe that you are embracing a new sense of self. I believe the need to conform mindsets or conform the way that you view yourself is a thing of the past. I believe that what you're doing is adapting. We do have this mutable T-square that's going on in this energy, so there is a little bit of resistance. There's some sense of realization. But I believe what it's doing is, more importantly, redefining what you associate your power with. So as we redefine that, as it starts to change our mindsets on an immediate level, it starts to expand our unique perspectives on an expansive level, on that elevated thinking level. So you're in a state of transformation and growth, rediscovery. I believe that you're like Jacques Cousteau, but in self right now. This energy is beautiful energy. One thing that significantly stands out to me is that I believe that you're not as self-indulgent in this energy as you are just in a state of gratification. You need to feel good. You need to appreciate your environment. You need to talk with people that appreciate your thoughts, and you need to develop these relationships with people that you feel reflect how you see yourself. That is the highest form of this vibration. I believe many of you are attracting new friends. I believe that you're attracting hopeful situations. I believe that you are, you're being recognized on an immediate level for some of the contributions that you've been doing. I think that you're not as erratic in this energy because it's trining. So there's a sense of predictability about a trine energy. When energy trines, basically what it does is it makes everything just flow. So for some of you, I'm sure that there is a sense of unpredictability in the sense that you are an erratic energy at all times. I mean, nobody can really predict truly an Aquarius energy. But I believe that who you have in your life right now accepts this about you. And so the trine energy is just very relaxed. So if you do make this sudden change, this sudden form, you express yourself in this unique way, I believe that many of the people that you have around you appreciate this side of you, which is a change for you because you used to be asked to conform and you're not being asked to conform anymore if you're developing healthy relationships and healthy mindsets. Of course, there's negative energy, like there is usually, and you know this because Saturn has been in conjunct with Mars, but has been squaring off with Jupiter, Neptune, and Chiron. And so I believe what you're trying to do for some of you that are in a state of resistance, what you resist persists, and I believe that some of you are having persistent energy that is really making you feel deeply that you are not being understood fully. So I believe that for some of you, what you wanted or what you placed value on, I believe that you're being redirected. And when you're being redirected, sometimes it's like, I really wanted to go down that road. And that road was what the map said would get me there at on this day at this time, but now there's a detour. I've been redirected because of construction, and now I've got to go down this way. It's going to add one more day. I've got to then, think about the extra money. I've got one more day on the road. I've got to, find a hotel. So it can be a little bit stressful when you're in a state of redirection. I believe that some of you are really definitely changing mindsets, habitual routines and mindsets. And I believe that cannot feel altogether good. I believe that the problem is that in this energy, you're having to restructure and redefine some areas that you refuse to adapt. So you're not an adaptable energy, and you're not kind of a trining energy. You're more of that mover, shaker, shake things up. You set the trend. You don't go with the flow. But in this energy, because we have this mutable T-square, you do have some negative energy for some of you. Some people are caught in that realization mode of like, you're just like everybody else, and everybody's unique, and you needed to be humbled, and you needed to be more realistic about what you want. And I believe what you're trying to do is then restructure it, and it can make you feel like you're at a sense of loss or not acceptance, or it can be very, very difficult when you restructure areas of your life that you signified as one's self, as you placed value on, that helped you identify yourself. Meaning, if you were in a job, and this job is how you identified yourself, and then it drastically changed with all this crazy Pluto Uranus square stuff. So then I believe what you had to do was realign. Well, if I'm not, a person who does this as a living, well, who the hell am I? Some of you may not know. Some of you maybe only identified through work, or maybe only identified through a dysfunctional relationship, or maybe only identified through a sibling rivalry. Like, some of you may have these firm mindsets that are helping you to actually go outside of that parameter of where you developed your identity, and it's asking you to develop your identity on a much less superficial level. And the realization is that maybe some of you have become very, very self-oriented and very, very superficial in what you attached value to, when really, honestly, you're bigger, broader than that. And so it's just that redefinition. You're just being redirected. You could just look at it that way. If something comes into your life and it's really upsetting, just say, I've been redirected. I was pointing south, now I'm pointing north. Big deal. Like, it freaking happens to everybody. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Pisces. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the Sun and Uranus aligning in Aries. Now, we've been talking a lot about you, and we've been talking a lot about your developing oneself. Now, cannot get more self-oriented than when you have the Sun in Uranus, the Sun in Aries and Uranus in Aries aligned. That is all about oneself. That's all about making drastic changes to redefine self. That is about having a voice. That is rebelling against conforming. That is individuating yourself on its most elevated level. And it is about making the drastic changes, or standing up in a way that makes people see how unique you are. This is that energy. So for some of you, this could be conversations about what you deeply value. You could be redefining what you value. You could be looking at your environment and saying, you know what, this doesn't meet my standard. This is my standard. This is how I see myself. Some of you, this is a very, very superficial level. For some of you, this is, how do I look? Do I look successful even though I'm not? Like, do I personify somebody that is stable even though I'm not? Like, for some of you, it could just be that energy of like, you kind of fake it till you make it. So if some of you are redefining self, and the self that you're redefining, you haven't actually mastered, for some of you, there's going to be a sense of you got to fake it for a little while until you make it in this energy. That can lead to the square that I see in this energy, where there's just this sense of you're a lone wolf. I feel many of you feel a little bit more alone than normal in this energy. There's a need for recognition. There's a need for affirmation in this energy. There's a need to know that you're going in the right direction, but many of your relationships may be resisting some of the old habitual ways that you used to manipulate people to get affirmation. So for some of that, there is a sense of people being critical of you where they probably weren't critical of you before, or there's a sense of you're getting the same message about the way that you're coming off on a daily basis for some of you. So I believe that you just need to listen. These do not define you. These are not, I'm going to be honest. When you have energy like this isn't about who you are. This is about who you want to become. But more importantly, we've got to go through this time period of like testing the waters to see who we are. And so and we're going to meet resistance along the way. For some of us, what this will really do is help us put us on a path that puts us in the right direction. This could be a career path. This could be a path where we redefine one sense of self. And so there's a sense of whatever path we go on really embraces what we feel about ourselves, what we feel we deserve, what we feel like we truly, deeply value. It could be attracting relationships to you that you start to provide you with some challenge, because that is the ideal relationship, and maybe you got to step up your game a little bit, because you know what, you just stepped up your qualifications of what you feel that you deserve. And so it really is, it's not, this energy is not about being complacent for you, unfortunately. This energy is about stepping up, being real, being honest, and the realization is that drastic changes are needed for you to start to really feel a sense of self in this energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's